Welcome to Ranger Reviews, a web series we look at episodes of the TV show Power Rangers and then discuss them. Today we're exploring the 8th episode of the show, Power Rangers Lightspeed Rescue, as well as the 346th episode overall titled Up to the Challenge. We begin this episode underwater, where we see someone scuba diving with the fish. Pretty sure this is just stock footage that's been purchased for the show, which actually makes me laugh. The person gets out and it's Chad, knocking on Kelsey's dorm door. He wakes her up and she's exhausted. She walks into the galley saying good morning to people, and Chad has already eaten and apparently made friends with a giant group of fish. Kelsey laments how Chad gets up stupid early every day to swim with the fish, getting ready to drink her smoothie. Out of the blender. Okay. Chad then says he's going to teach her something new today, grabbing her. Meanwhile, blah blah blah, we hate Mariner Bay, whatever. Viper gives Jinxer a new card, and we meet our new monster, Smogger. Viper attempts to act excited about this, talking about how he's explosive. Anyways, at a temple, Chad seems to be teaching Kelsey Tai Chi, and she gets mad, saying skateboarding is more her speed. Chad explains that this teaches inner calm, and if anyone else needs it. But then Chad starts to suddenly compliment her about how she's totally fearless, but she gets a little overexcited. And then she starts play fighting with him. Then some dude and a girl roll up on a motorbike. He gets off the bike and he says, well, if it isn't the blue and yellow ranger, I thought you guys fought monsters, not each other. Chad ignores his attitude, introducing themselves. Guy says, I bet you think you're real tough. And the guy is like trying to start a fight with Chad. Chad says, let's go. And Kelsey wants to fight this dude. I love Kelsey. The guy calls Chad a chicken, and Chad says he doesn't have to prove himself to anyone, so they're just going to pack up their stuff. This guy then gets egged on by his girlfriend. He goes over, putting his foot on Chad's towel. Chad tries to say, excuse me, but the guy doesn't listen, so Chad knocks him down. The guy then tries to fight Chad, but Chad just gets him down on the ground without even throwing a single punch. The girlfriend is pissed because this guy, Brian, didn't even fight Chad, but Chad and Kelsey are beeped by Mitchell heading out. Kind of interesting that this is something that would probably happen without secret identities. Meanwhile, Smogger's attacking the city, but then we see Carter and Kelsey need to go rescue some people out of a parking structure. They take Has Rescue 4, and Kelsey goes in, busting through a wall, using the claw to start moving stuff. Chad is putting out the fire from the explosions, and Carter and Kelsey get out of the Zord, getting people to safety. They give Kelsey crap for running right in to save the people. Smogger is there though, and he yells at the Rangers, setting Batlings after them. They take them on, and Smogger turns into a ball, rolling away. Carter sends Chad and Kelsey after him. Meanwhile, Brian has arrived in a factory of some sort, and he hides in secret as Smogger rolls by. Chad and Kelsey are following Smogger, who goes into a room. We see him release a lot of gas into the room, and Kelsey wants to blast Smogger out of there, and Chad tells her to calm down. Brian is watching. Kelsey runs forward, firing a bunch of stuff, and she thinks that she got him. Then the gas comes out, but then it goes right back in. Chad screams that it's a backdraft, but Kelsey goes in, and in a giant explosion, the two are sent flying. They're demorphed on the ground. Smogger celebrates, saying that he's going to go tell Vipra, and Brian watches, following Smogger. Chad wakes up, checking on Kelsey. He lifts her up and she apologizes, saying that she should have listened to him, and then she just passes out. Viper is stoked because 2 Rangers got taken out, and she wants Smogger to blow up all of Mariner Bay. Brian is watching nearby and he hits something on accident. The Batlings grab him, pulling him out. Viper commands that the Batlings kill him, but it turns out he wants to join them. He wants to be Viper's student to end up killing Chad. Viper is really into this, so she blows some weird smoke into his face, and he's evil now due to makeup and whatnot. Also, Kelsey is now in the hospital. I kind of dig the realism that we've seen in the hospital lately in this season. Chad blames himself for not stopping Kelsey from going in there, but Dana mentions how the doctor says she'll be fine. They get beeped, and even Kelsey hears how Smogger is in the Main Street tunnel. The Rangers rush out, but a Batling is nearby, like waving to Chad to come over. This is super funny. Carter warns that this might be a trick, to which I say, no shit, dude. Chad follows the Batling, and he gets a really huge scroll, and it's a note from Brian telling him to come fight because Viper trained him. Dude, like, send a text. Also, Red, Green, and Pink find Smogger, but they have to start fighting Batlings. Elsewhere, Brian is training with Viper and Batlings, and that one Batling from earlier has led Chad here. Chad tells Brian to get out of here, but he's not going to fight him over this. But Viper sends Brian after Chad anyways, and Chad fights back, although trying not to hurt him. In the Aqua base, Kelsey is getting her jacket on, throwing her bandage aside. Miss Fairweather finds her, telling her that she should rest, but she knows there's no use trying to talk her out of it. And she introduces the Rescue Speeder, a new side cart to the Lightspeed cycle. Kelsey is ready to go. Lightspeed Rescue! Why is she taking Carter's cycle? I have no idea. Meanwhile, Chad and Brian are still fighting, and Chad says Brian is coming with him no matter what, tossing his Lightspeed jacket aside. Now it's time to watch these 2 professional fighters do what they do best. Also, Carter, Joel, and Dana get tied up by Smaugr, but then they get blown up a bit. Luckily, here comes Kelsey and she fires the rescue speeder, hitting Smaugr down. She runs over, using her baton to free the others from the vines. Meanwhile, back to awesome Chad and Brian action. Chad gets Brian down and Viper realizes this was all pretty pointless. Chad walks over to Brian and he offers him his hand, but before Brian can grab it, Batlings grab Chad, holding him back. Viper commands Brian to get Chad now, and Brian says no, this is his fight. So Viper just punches him in the stomach to shut him up. Brian runs over to punch Chad and he swings, hitting a Batling down. Now Brian's back to normal. The two start fighting off the Batlings, and Brian suddenly realizes no one's going to tell him what to do anymore, so they just let Viper walk away and get into her Viprari, driving away. Chad and Brian are friends now, shaking hands. The others aren't doing great against Smaugr, but luckily here comes Morph Chad, kicking him down. Then Chad is suddenly in the rescue speeder with Carter driving, and they go through a building with Smaugr on the front, and they stop short, sending him flying, making him explode. Alright, I guess everything's good now. Later, Chad and Kelsey are practicing Tai Chi again, and Kelsey gets really excited at the end of the kata, saying that she feels much calmer. Then they see Brian is training some kids. Kelsey is impressed, saying that she guesses people can change. She then says that now they have to find something that Chad can learn from Kelsey, and someone yells, "Look out!" and here comes a tennis ball. I like that here Chad's instincts are so good that he just moves out of the way and ends up hitting Kelsey right in the forehead. Subtle comedy. Chad laughs and says he's sorry, going to go get the ball. A pretty girl, I guess, comes over and she asks for the ball, and Chad is stuttering, looking down. She says thanks, leaving. Kelsey comes over, realizing that's it. She's going to teach him how to talk to girls, and Kelsey says they have a lot of work to do, dragging him away. The end. This is an odd filler episode that doesn't really do anything for the plot overall, but it really educates us on who Chad is. He's an honorable guy who apparently has really bonded closely with Chelsea, which I like. Also, another point for lesbianism if she's teaching him how to talk to girls, only because she has a lot of practice talking to girls. Maybe she's just because she's a girl, and that's definitely what it is, but like, let me live. Also, for the record, Brian is played by David Leitch, who has gone on to do such things as Deadpool 2, Atomic Blonde, and some Fast and Furious stuff. He's done very well for himself, so good to see that. Kind of funny he was on this show, though. Next time, we're going volcanic, but until then, may the power protect you.